Good morning, good morning, good morning. I feel called to hop on and share something with you. And I'm actually going to do a kind of mini mindset mentoring workshop with you um, because I had a bit of a realization today when I was out running. So much of managing dyslexia, either positively or negatively, is to do with our mindset and how healthy our mindset is, if you like. And if all of our experiences around dyslexia have been negative, it's very difficult to shift our mindset. So, how do we begin to shift our mindset if our experiences around dyslexia have been negative? Well, it's actually starting somewhere completely different, not starting with dyslexia and not starting with literacy skill. Now, I know that that sounds super odd, but trust me, I know that it works because it's worked on my own mindset. That's how I've improved my own dyslexia mindset. It's worked with my kids' mindset. And it's also worked with the hundreds of people that I've supported, mentored, coached, worked with in the last 9 years. So, what do I mean when I say starting somewhere different? So, what I mean is that picking something that you love, so it can be something that you really love, something that you really enjoy, or it can be learning a completely different skill from scratch. And the really important thing is that you set yourself a mini goal to do with this skill or this thing that you love. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to be working towards that. The key thing is you need to be in control of developing that skill. It needs to fit in with your everyday. But it also needs to be a skill that you're not going to be tempted to compare yourself with others, okay? Because this is about running your own race. And forgive the pun, okay? Because I am just going to talk about running, but it needs to be a skill, a thing where you're not going to be tempted to compare yourself to others. Okay. So the example that I'm going to give you is at the moment, I am trying to get back to running 5K. Now, running over the years, in the last 10 years, funnily enough, 10 years, roughly the same time that I left my Senko job, running has been such a key, important, pivotal thing in terms of managing my dyslexia mindset. And I'm going to explain why kind of as I go through. But at the moment, I haven't run for 2.5 years because I ran a marathon and it basically broke my body. But I've decided that I really want to get back to trying to get back up to running 5K. And I am literally 5 weeks and 12 runs in. And it was just starting to get easier. And today was the hardest run, but the hardest run for sure. Like literally, it was really windy. It felt really hard. Literally every single thing hurt, ached. And I got about 1K in, and I'm only up to 3K at the minute. But I got about kind of like 1K in, and I was like, actually, I just genuinely don't think that I can do this. Like, I just don't know if I can keep going. But what I have learned is not just with running, in life, is that whenever we set ourselves mini goals, whenever we're working on something that is worth having, there is a moment that we doubt ourselves and it finds really difficult. Sometimes there are countless moments, but there are almost like times when it could be the universe, whatever you want to call it, or ourselves. It's almost like we trust ourselves that we kind of lack trust in ourselves, almost like doubt ourselves to see how far we want to push ourselves. Okay. And in that moment, I was like, right, okay, what skills, what can I do? So actually, I don't feel like I'm going to be able to run this full 3K. And trust me, this is going to relate back to dyslexia. I don't feel like I can run that full 3K, but what can I do? So I was like, actually, I could stop. I could walk for a bit. I could walk until I get to that bit there. When I get to that bit there, I can keep seeing if I can run as far as I can, and then I can stop for a bit, walk, set myself another goal and keep running. And that's what I did. And actually, I only did that twice and I managed to get myself home on that route. But what I did was I focused on where I was in the moment and what I could do. Now, I could have made the choice at that point to literally turn around and walk home, because that would have been quicker because I was only about a K in. But I could also, so if I'd have done that, all I would have been doing is proving my mindset right, that actually I wasn't capable and that I couldn't do it. But actually, I chose to keep going and I chose to talk to my mindset nicely. Like, that inner talk is so important, because it doesn't matter. Like, I could have texted home and I could have got some encouragement from home. Like, the whole causeway that I was running along could have been lined with people and they could have been telling me that I was amazing. And actually, lovely Emily on YouTube here has written, "You can do it, Joe. I believe in you." And it's absolutely right. Like, it's great to have external encouragement, and we absolutely need that external encouragement. But actually, if we don't believe in ourselves and haven't got skills and strategies that we can draw on ourselves, that is a real problem. So actually, in that moment, I chose to focus on what I could do. I chose to think about what strategies I could employ to get myself through to the end. And what that actually enabled me to do was complete the task. I've got home. I now feel really good because I didn't give up. Yes, it was tricky, but I got there. It also means I've got another experience I can draw on where something was tricky and I didn't give up. I managed to find a way through it. And I did that all myself. Like, nobody was there cheering me on. Like, nobody really gives a shit whether I got to the end or not. Like, but I do, and I know I've achieved it, and I know that I've learned a lot of skills doing that. So what those skills that I was actually developing at that time are essential as skills to life. So resilience, determination, confidence in my ability, but also trust in myself. And this is the thing that so many people with dyslexia lack. They lack trust and confidence in themselves and in their mindset. So when something happens, and things happen all the time when we're dyslexic, we make mistakes. What happens is we begin to doubt our ability, and we're not sure whether to trust ourselves or not. So what often happens is it's easier to just give up and walk away than it is to kind of to push ourselves through, because it's uncomfortable to push ourselves through. So when we start going right back to the beginning of this story, when we start improving our dyslexia mindset, not by working on dyslexia, but actually starting on something completely different, not related to dyslexia, what we're actually doing is we are developing those key skills of resilience, determination, confidence and trust in our mindset to be able to then apply to dyslexia. So the next time something becomes tricky with dyslexia, we have this bank of strategies, this bank of positive experiences that we can draw on that can help us in that moment when things feel tricky with dyslexia. So I don't joke when I say the way to improve dyslexic mindset is not to think about dyslexia, is not to think about literacy skill. It's to actually start somewhere completely unrelated to dyslexia, and kind of work on that skill. So I would really love to know in the comments below, what skill, where could you start in terms of improving your mindset? What skill, what little mini goal are you going to set yourself to improve your dyslexia mindset? I love that, Emily. She's just written cooking. I love that. Interestingly enough, actually, somebody, one of the lads I supported, so I say lad, he's actually my godson, and he's 15 now. But when I first set up my company, hang on a minute. When I first set up my company, nearly 10 years ago now, so 9.5 years ago, one of the first things I did was I just literally did teaching. And I had 10 students at the time, and we actually did a bake off, and I hired a professional kitchen, and my godson was only 9 at the time, and I had external judges come in and judge it. And you could do like a showstopper bake, or you could just do like a basic bake. You could choose whether you wanted to do like a classic bake. Anyway, he was 9 at the time. No, how old would he have been at the time if it was 9 years ago? He's nearly 16 now. So he would have been like, yeah, literally only like 7 or 8. Anyway, basically he won. He made a Victoria sponge, and it was insane. Like it was incredible. And it was apparent quite quickly that he was a natural cook. Anyway, funnily enough, he's going to be working on cooking. And that is what he is actually doing now. He's hoping to, after his GCSEs, kind of like study cooking. So it's about finding that thing that you're really good at. And the other thing is so many people with dyslexia say that they haven't got any strengths. And we do have strengths. It's about finding them, but you're not going to find them if you're focusing on dyslexia. You're going to find them if you look outside of dyslexia. Anyway, I'm going to leave my YouTube live. So this is Dyslexic Life with Jo Rees over and out. Have a great day, and I will see you soon. And just carry on.